Good afternoon, everyone. This afternoon, I'm going to be talking about the Fulani herdsmen violence in Nigeria, particularly in northern Nigeria. And a lot of people don't really seem to understand who the Fulani herdsmen are. The Fulani herdsmen are not just some group of nomads, but they are the fourth deadliest terror group in the world, according to Global Terrorism Index. And over time, we've had issues of these herdsmen and their activities, especially in some parts of northern Nigeria, especially the Middle Belt, to be precise. But lately, we are beginning to have this problem across other parts of the country. And the question is, what do the Fulani herdsmen want? What exactly motivates their activities? A lot of people are also worried that the government of Nigeria has not really done enough to help checkmate the activities of these Fulani herdsmen. Communities have been raided in various states in northern Nigeria. People have been killed. Houses and properties worth billions of naira have been destroyed by this group. Some may argue that it is about the clash between these herdsmen and farmers. Some will say no, it is more of religious clashes. And some are of the opinion that this is just has to do with mere disagreement. But then looking at it critically, one will be made to understand that the activities of these violent herdsmen goes beyond religious or ethnic. Lately, I went to some part of Nigeria, especially northwest Nigeria to be precise, places like Katsina, and I came to realize that these herdsmen or Fulani herdsmen also perpetrate these crimes in places like Katsina, Zamfara, and Sokoto state. And the question is, these states are dominated by Muslims. So why are there still attacks in these states? But there's something fundamental here, and that is the fact that the victims of this crisis, even in states like Katsina, Sokoto, and Zamfara, are mostly Hausa commoners, the local Hausa people, while the aggressors are often suspected to be Fulani herdsmen. So when you look at it, you will agree with me that these activities of violent herdsmen goes beyond just religious or ethnic, as alleged by some section of the media or of the public. It has to do with Fulani hegemony. It is more of an extension of the Usman Danfodio jihad repeating itself in a 21st century society. And that is why the activities are largely unchecked. And that is why the states or the federal government have not really done enough to checkmate their activities across the country. And they are really doing a lot of destruction, not just in northern Nigeria, but also in southern Nigeria. We have states like Delta, we have states like Enugu, Abia, and some other states, even River State, have also had issues of these violent herdsmen. So when you look at the map of Nigeria and you look at the activities of these herdsmen, one will be forced to believe that it is just a matter of time. Their activities will be prevalent in southern Nigeria as it has been in northern Nigeria. And some will argue that these herdsmen activities have been there even before the coming of this administration. No doubt about it. But then, the handling or the response so far, we have a situation today when the government of the day has not really done anything serious to stop their activities. Instead, what you get are excuses, where you have government coming out to make excuses for a terror group. And this is not just about Nigerians calling the Fulani or giving the Fulani a bad name to hang them. No, it is about what is known in the international COFA. Because according to the Global Terrorism Index, these Fulani herdsmen are not just an ordinary group of people, but they are the fourth most deadliest in the world. So it means they are not people to be taken lightly. Before now, the Fulani herdsmen that we know don't carry guns. They carry sticks and sometimes cutlasses to enable them cut leaves for their animals. But today they carry guns. And that is why in some part of northern Nigeria, farming activities are being crippled because these violent herdsmen have made it impossible for the indigenous people to even go to their farms. And there's something that is also fundamental, and that is the fact that between 2015 and date, there've been this inconsistency in narrative by those in authority. And that is why in 2016, the narrative was that it is a clash between farmers and herders. Then sometimes in 2017, it metamorphosed into what they call banditry. Then in 2018 or thereabout, the nomenclature changed to communal clashes. Then in 2020, you have a situation when the government has changed the narrative from communal clashes to what they call revenge killings or reprisals. And the question is, are reprisals constitutional? The answer is no, because reprisals are illegal. It is illegal for any citizen to take law into his or her hand. But you have a situation here when the government, whose responsibility is the protection of lives and property, are now making excuses for criminal gang. So that is the reality today. And this is happening with nothing serious being done to put an end to it. Like in southern Kaduna, where I come from, dozens of communities have been displaced and occupied by these violent herdsmen. We have over 100,000 persons that have been displaced. They are now forced to live in IDP camps. And the government is not even admitting the fact that communities are being occupied by these violent herdsmen. There's this denial from the government that, hey, okay, if you claim your communities are being occupied, can you show us the community? In the month of July, to be precise, I, alongside some friends of mine, flew some drones across communities in southern Kaduna, and the footages obtained showed communities where the indigenous people were displaced are now occupied by these violent herdsmen. The story is the same in Taraba. The story is the same in Benue. The story is the same in Zamfara and even Katsina, the president's home state. And there's one thing that is fundamental. When you ask the victims of this crisis, who do you think are responsible for these attacks? There's this unison answer: Fulani herdsmen. So it is not about people alleging or just suspecting or speculating. No, it is a known fact, because in most occasions, the survivors of this attack identify those who comes into their community to attack them. And looking at the current security architecture in the country, some Nigerians even believe that the security architecture has been Fulanized. And that is why you have key positions of security are being occupied by Fulanis. So I don't think it's a mere coincidence. I think there's a deliberate attempt by the current administration to continue to allow these violent herdsmen to perpetrate their evil acts. Because in 2019, the OPC issued a press conference calling on the president of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, to resign his position as the grand patron of the Miyati Allah Cattle Breeders Association. Now, this is very important to note that the president of Nigeria is the grand patron of the Fulani people, the same people that are being accused of perpetrating these crimes. And this is not just mere accusation, because we have instances in Benue, in Kaduna, when the Miyati Allah breeders leadership comes out to claim responsibility of these attacks. So the solution, what I believe that could put an end to these atrocities, crime against humanity being perpetrated by these Fulani herdsmen, one is that the international community must beam its searchlights on Nigeria. Yes, they've been reported on the media, but then there is need for a special envoy, especially from the United States or the United Kingdom. They should appoint special envoy to Nigeria so that the activities of these violent herdsmen can actually be reported directly back to the international community. Because we have a situation where the media in Nigeria is not doing enough to report these crimes. In southern Kaduna, for instance, we've had instances where a community will be attacked, 20 persons will be killed, 100 houses will be burned, but you have a media house in Nigeria reporting that 2 persons were killed and 5 houses were burned. Now, these are communities that you don't easily access. They are communities in remote area. So for somebody like me, sometimes I go there to find out what really happened. And to my surprise, sometimes I end up counting over 100 houses that have been destroyed. And the question is, why is the media underreporting? So sanctions, another solution, I believe, that could put an end to these violent crimes perpetrated by the herdsmen. Sanctions, economic sanctions. I won't be happy if sanctions are imposed on Nigeria, but then we are talking about human lives here. So if sanctions could force our government to really do what is needful to stop these crimes, then I would call on the international community to impose sanctions on our government. Just like we've heard of recent, where visa ban or travel restrictions have been threatened against our political elite. You could see some positive behavior with regards to elections. So I believe that such sanctions could actually help those in authority to sit up, because we have a situation today when state governors are now signing memorandum of understanding with these violent criminals. In Kaduna, in 2016, December to be precise, the governor confessed to paying these violent herdsmen compensation to stop killings. In Katsina, the governor also confessed to signing MOU with this criminal element. So I believe that more needs to be done by the international community, because the current security settings in Nigeria is not ready to put an end to the activities of these Fulani herdsmen. Then finally, I believe that communities should be empowered and encouraged to be their own security, to organize their own security, like we have in the Southwest, the Amotekun, for instance. So I believe that the localization of the security for the people would do so much to help curtail the activities of these criminal herdsmen. Thank you very much.